What is going on, guys? Dewds69 here, and I have a little bit of a workflow as far as what you need to follow if you want to start streaming some games from your Windows 10 PC from your Xbox One and then uploading them to different services such as Twitch or YouTube or things such as that. So I'm going to cut it really short and sweet. I'm going to get into the very beginning parts of this. So, first thing is first. Let's give it a second for my screen to change. There we go. Okay, now we're working with it. So, this isn't really going to be an OBS software overview. It's more or less going to be a workaround for some things that you need to pay attention to in OBS and also some things that you need to pay attention to whenever you are streaming from your Xbox One through the internet. So one of the first and most important things that I would always recommend is to hardwire your connection in, especially for someone like me who lives in an apartment complex. Many people have the same internet service provider as me. Many people have the exact same modem/router, so the signals themselves can really interfere. So rely mainly on hooking up your PC as well as hooking up your Xbox directly to a router, or if you have the modem/router combination, one of the two. Alright, so once you have that set up, one of the first things we're going to be working with is we are going to be opening up the Xbox app that you should be seeing on screen here. So as long as you have a Windows 10 PC, you can install this Xbox app, and this will actually let you stream from your console to your PC. So what you'd be seeing is you'd be seeing everything that's going on your console to your PC screen, and from here you can use the OBS software to stream that to services like YouTube and Twitch. So a couple other things to know is if you have an Xbox One controller, if you want to use your headset, for me I like to use my X04s that I have. Make sure they're plugged directly in. And two things that you should do before you start streaming or before you start connecting to your Xbox is either directly connect this with a power cable to your computer, or if you're like me, I actually have the wireless adapter for this because I do like to use this controller for some online games on PC itself. Okay? So connecting the controller is pretty simple. Once you just turn it on and it's connected to your little wireless block on here, you'll see a solid white light. I'm not able to drag it over here and show you right now because it's connected to my computer, but your controller is then connected to it and you would be able to use that with your Xbox software. Alright, so next step we're going to talk about is connecting directly to your Xbox One on this Windows 10 app that we have. So coming over here, you're going to click on the little connection button. And for me, my Xbox One is turned on right now, so that's good news. All I have to do is click on stream. If your Xbox One was not on, make sure that you do have the instant on settings as well as the broadcasting enabled, which there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that can explain that for you. So I'm just going to start off by clicking on stream, and it's going to pop up the screen just like this. Yet it's going to be odd because you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh, why am I still sitting on here? Well, for some Windows 10 computers and some monitors, you actually have to go to the upper right-hand side, and you'll see two little arrows in the upper right-hand side. These are actually blocked out by my webcam, so poor choice of placement there. But you would see two little arrows that look like condense arrows. You would click on those, and then from there, you'd be streaming from your Xbox One. Okay? So at this point, a lot of people think, okay, this is great, this is perfect. If I have a good internet connection, then I should be able to click on this little button, which let me move my webcam around. Let's edit this real quick so that way you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So up in the top right-hand corner right here, you see these little change quality options. A lot of people think that, oh, if I got good internet, I can get a very high, which is going to increase the video that you see, and then also assuming it's going to increase the video that the users are going to see whenever they're watching your stream. Well, this is true, but part of the problem is you're using an app that is sucking up a lot of internet usage because it's pulling it from your Xbox directly to your PC, which then is taking the upload usage from your PC and uploading it to programs such as Twitch, or if you're using YouTube as well. So there's a useful tool that you can use in conjunction with OBS as well to figure out exactly how you would set up this broadcast. So to do this, if you click on streaming statistics, you're going to see down here the total bandwidth that you're using right now. So as of right now, the total bandwidth that I have is I'm using 3.4 megabytes per second. So whenever you think about this, I'm going to be using this as an upload, not necessarily a download, because whenever you go with the stream usage, you got to think about the fact that you're actually using upload speeds and upload basically bandwidth at that point whenever you're uploading onto YouTube as well as Twitch. So right now, out of what I normally have, I'm using 2.76, it says in the corner, and that can always change, especially if I'm using a online game that's using high quality graphics. That's going to expand with a lot more bandwidth. So what I've actually had issues with so far with this app is that I'll set this on very high. I'll set the encoding for what my upload should be through OBS to about middle ground. Yet for some reason, this awesome app that Windows 10 came out with that is still, honestly, I would call it in beta phase. If it's not already, I would still call it in beta phase because it's definitely not perfect. It'll drop the stream. It'll actually disconnect itself from my Xbox, and at that point, from what I've learned, is that it's because it's becoming overloaded with the amount of upload that I'm trying to do. Alright? So I may have lost a couple of you guys there, so really what we're talking about at this point is that once you start streaming, use this tool on the top right-hand side that says Streaming Statistics, and this is going to give you the total bandwidth that you're using as of right now. Alright? So I'm going to stop streaming for the moment. I'm going to come back to my desktop, and then I'm also going to talk about OBS in itself. So I have two instances of OBS actually opened up. I'm going to open up this one right here so that way you can see it on the screen. So whenever you set up OBS after you go through the whole entire process, there's a couple things that you want to pay attention to. So whenever you are setting up your stream, you need to make sure that you are going to your settings. And then from here, you're going to go to your broadcast settings, or actually, I apologize, to your encoding, and you're going to need to figure out what your max bit rate is, which is the kilobytes per second. So an easy way to figure out exactly what your max bit rate is itself without running OBS is to do a speed test. So if you just go to speedtest.com and run that, that'll typically tell you what your upload speed is, which is what this is referring to. All right. So for me, my upload speed that I have, it's not perfect. It's actually 6 megabytes per second, and then calculating that out the kilobytes, it's going to be 6,000. So normally suggesting if you're streaming a game from your PC, they say normally factor about a quarter off of what your total max rate would be. So from there, I would take 1.5 kilobytes off of my, or actually I'm sorry, 1.5 megabytes off of the total amount that I have here for the max bit rate. And from there, I would factor this down so that way I can ensure that I'm getting the best stream possible, but also at the same time I'm not killing my machine and I'm not killing the internet and I'm not going to have constant drops. So for here, if I'd be sitting at 6,000, let's do a little bit of math on here. So if I'm sitting at 6,000 kilobytes per second, and I multiply that by a quarter, I need to reduce that by 1,500. Okay, so from here, what you would normally think then at that point is that I'd be sitting at about 4,500 and I'd be going good. This is typically true, but the only problem is whenever you're using this, you are not only just pulling in the upload speed from your computer, but you're also pulling some information over from your Xbox. So normally a nice little safe route that you can use is factor in another 1,000. I've seen that this has worked for me, so we can lower this down to 3,500. And then for the buffer size, I typically leave this about the same. I'll leave that at about 3,500 and then click on apply. And if you go to broadcast settings, this will tell you if you have anything wrong. But otherwise, as of right now for YouTube, this is saying that it is okay. So if you're going to be doing a live stream on YouTube, you are in the proper encoding steps that you would need. You have everything set up. And really at this point, this is going to be trial and error. So if I go back and I move back to my Xbox, and let's go back here in a minute, let it reconnect to my Xbox. Which, as I said, it's never perfect. I'm not even streaming right now, I'm actually recording a video, and this app still likes to take its sweet old time. So, perfect, now it's back up. We can do stream. And again, on certain Windows 10 PCs, my old Windows 7 PC that I had went directly into the stream, but for this one, I need to actually go to the top right-hand corner, and you should actually see these little arrows that you can click on, and then you're good to go. Alright, so let me just quit out of this, and let's, actually funny enough, let's take a look at this. Yeah, my total bandwidth is now still going up there a little bit. So, I'm factoring in the bandwidth, I'm factoring in the megabytes per second that I can possibly do, and I'm sitting at about a steady enough bandwidth right now that we can try doing a multiplayer game. So I'm just going to open up something pretty quick and easy that I can get into, and it's not too high demanding. Let's just do Star Wars Battlefront. Alright. So occasionally on the bottom left hand side you're going to see something that says network quality issues. Now I don't know why you still get this whenever you're directly connected in. I believe a lot of it is just relating to the amount of information that your computer is pulling over from your Xbox. So at that point that's a good indication to go back to OBS, and at that point try to reduce at least the kilobytes per second that you're using, that you're uploading onto YouTube. So we'll sit here, we'll wait. Let's see, I'll even turn my speakers on so we can get a little bit of, actually I'll just turn them up right here. So giving the game a minute or so to load up. Alright, looks like we got some sound. I'm just going to pull it down a little bit. So coming back to here, we're just going to hop into a game real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is fingers crossed that what I did actually helped me out, because I have had consistent times that has driven me nuts with this app that it will disconnect from my Xbox, and a lot of times I'll have to completely close out the Xbox app itself, reopen it, reconnect back to my Xbox, and then all of a sudden I can start streaming, which you know that if you're actually playing something like Call of Duty, a 30-second, 40-second wait time like that is enough time that you're going to get your ass shot. So let's just try something else real quick. Let's try just regular multiplayer on here. What the hell, we'll try out the Death Star. We'll see how this works. And then hoping that we have everything figured out correctly, once this finally launches me into a game, then hopefully I should be able to stream at least a decent enough quality, which you can always adjust by moving your mouse cursor on your monitor over to the change quality here. And you can change it from very high to high. For things like Twitch and YouTube, it's not incredibly noticeable, especially if you actually have your upload going to a decent enough frame rate in itself. But you can always downscale if you need to, just to make sure that you actually have the best possible quality going out there without having too many people having to buffer. Oh, and of course, as soon as I hit B, it said I was joining a game. So let's do Death Star again. Let's see, it should hopefully this time it'll find me in a game. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do a little test run. We will see if the settings that I've chosen as far as my internet have worked. And then from there, you can always repeat this video, go back into the settings in OBS and try to figure out for yourself, are these the best settings for me? While this is loading, I do also always suggest that you try to get the best processor and also the most amount of RAM. This should go unsung if you understand computers, but you should try to get at least the best possible amount of equipment into your computer that you can in order to do things like this, because you're running a streaming service directly from your Xbox to your computer. From there, you're uploading that from OBS to services like Twitch and like YouTube. So even if you have top grade internet, if you have a computer that doesn't have enough of memory and doesn't have enough of a CPU without overloading to handle everything, you're not going to be able to keep up with stream quality. You're going to have to reduce it to very low. You're going to have to reduce your kilobytes per second that we talked about earlier to a very low setting as well. It's not going to be a good scenario. It's not very expensive to invest in RAM, but obviously getting a better processor in itself is a little bit expensive. So whenever you're shopping around, I always do suggest shop around for the best possible processor as well as the best possible memory and RAM that you can possibly get, which you can always research a lot of those from YouTube videos. Normally gaming desktops are better than gaming laptops. So I'm guessing this game is over and it's putting me in a new one. I don't know, I've been sitting here in the loading screen forever. Oh, there we go. So, as we can see, quality is not really perfect right now. I believe this actually dropped me down. It still says very high. Let's just take a look at the streaming statistics. So, I'm at about a 9.78. So, I'm not looking too great right now, but I am just hopping in the game. So, let's press the join and let's see what happens. Alright, hop in a fighter. Let's see how it goes. Right now it's extremely laggy. Could be the server, could be my internet, Lord only knows. So we'll just do a quick little playthrough and we'll see what happens. So far, I mean, it's running relatively smooth. I'm actually not getting any frame rate drops from my OBS that's recording right now. I'm actually not getting much at all as far as frame rate drops. I'm actually sitting at a pretty steady 30 frames per second, so I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Ooh, incoming missile, and then I get shot. So, it's working right now as far as my kilobytes per second, and I'm not streaming and recording, but still, even my frame rates, everything's sitting there at a pretty decent rate, so I'm assuming this is working pretty well for me. But obviously, trial and error is always the thing that you want to do whenever it comes to something like this. You want to make sure that you are able to really work through some of these issues as far as with what the Windows app for the Xbox One requires, and also what your instance of OBS is going to require as well. So again, trial and error, troubleshoot, make sure that whenever you are choosing these upload settings, whenever you're going to your encoding, you're choosing the best bitrate possible. Honestly, if I was getting a quality somewhat like that, I would probably even drop it down to 2500, because really that was just not giving me the best quality that I wanted. Besides that, those are some of the best tips and suggestions that I can get you. If you have any questions at all, please drop them in the inbox. If I don't have the answer because I am not 100% IT savvy, I just figure these things out as I go and as I collect things from videos. But if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments box and I will be happy to answer them for you, or at least try to find an answer for you. Otherwise, this is Dewds signing out. Thank you guys very much, and I look forward to hearing you guys on my live streams. So remember, click on that subscribe button, subscribe to me on Twitch, subscribe to me on Twitter. I'll be posting a lot more videos as I start getting through these different gaming PC issues that I'm having right now. So otherwise, guys, peace out, take care, and I'll talk to you later.